Hello people, this is Sonali, the Melodramatic Bookworm. If you've been here before, welcome back, and if you're new to my channel, welcome to the Melodramatic Bookworm family. I'm here today to talk to you about audiobooks, and I have 5 audiobook recommendations for you, which you should definitely listen to because it's such an amazing listening experience. It's transportive, it's immersive, and the storytelling in the narrator's voices make them all the more brilliant. And listening to the audiobooks, I realized that these books, as they are made even better by the experience of listening to audiobooks thanks to their narrators. Audiobooks are basically books in audio format. Audiobooks. And I started listening to audiobooks in 2018 and I haven't looked back since. And I feel like they are such a great way to consume stories. When you are a child, your grandparents or your parents, they tell you stories and you know all the voices, the inflections, the big drama that they do to keep you invested in the little story that they're telling you. The same wonder that you used to have as a child while listening to those stories, I feel like audiobooks give them to you because they are such great productions and such great ways of taking in stories. And that is not the only reason why audiobooks are awesome. I can give you multiple reasons why they are great. The first reason that I will pitch to you is that audiobooks make the story more atmospheric. They transport you into the story. Like you are listening to what the narrator is telling you and what is happening in the story, and suddenly just you close your eyes and you're suddenly transported into an island in the middle of the Pacific Ocean or somewhere in Antarctica. The second reason that I will give for you is that they are easy on the eyes. All you have to do is pop in an audiobook, close your eyes, sit back, relax, and dive into the story that you are listening to. And it's not just this. Listening to audiobooks is a great way of getting some reading done before bedtime. And then you can listen to audiobooks anywhere. Like you can listen to them in your reading nook. You can do it while walking. You can do it while just strolling in your balcony as you are taking in the fresh air. You can also listen to audiobooks while making coffee. Because making coffee is like second nature, okay? I don't have to think about anything while doing this, so I can concentrate on my audiobook instead. So basically you can listen to them anywhere. That's what I'm trying to say. One of the biggest things about audiobooks that I'm perpetually in awe of is audiobooks are proper productions. Like they are movies in audio format, and there's a lot of background scores, there's emotions that the narrator is feeling, and if it's a full voice cast, you are like you are in the zone, you are in the story. Audiobooks also improve your vocabulary, your pronunciation, and your fluency, and it's not just in English. You can do it in multiple languages, and then you can multitask when you're listening to audiobooks, be it cleaning, be it exercising, be it walking, be it making food, or be it journaling. There's so much that you can get done while you're listening to audiobooks. And because audiobooks have these many advantages, I'm a huge lover of audiobooks and I keep turning to Storytel to listen to audiobooks. The first ever audiobook I listened to was in 2018 and it was on Storytel. And I always go to Storytel. My first reaction is to check if an audiobook is available over there because it has such a wide variety of them, and not just wide variety in terms of the number. It has about 2 lakh audiobooks, but it also has them in 11 Indian languages apart from English, and more are on the way. You can save audiobooks to your bookshelf, you can listen to them later on, and you can also browse through genres so that you can find what you know you will love. And for all of this, a recurring subscription costs only rupees 299 a month. Like there's unlimited audiobooks that you can go through during this time. And you know what that means? That means more listening to audiobooks and more stories consumed and more books to be gotten through. So if you'd like to get a subscription to Storytel, The link to that will be in the description box below. Please go check it out. I'm telling you, it's completely worth it. So I've already mentioned that I keep turning to Storytel, and it's like I just go there and I look for books, and more often than not I find them there. I have 5 audiobook recommendations for you today, which you will find on Storytel and which also happen to be New York Times bestsellers, and they are worth all the hype, worth all the accolades that they have received. And these are books that I would highly recommend, not just as books, but more so as audiobooks, because of the immersive experience that they gave me, and I know that they will be great reads for you as well. There's one thing in common with among all of these audiobooks that I will be talking about. It's that I got so much done while listening to these. So basically it comes back to multitasking. Like whenever I was doing anything like exercising or journaling or anything of that sort, I popped in an audiobook and I did my thing. Of late, I've been on this drive to improve my physical health and to make myself get to that point where I should be. So I have started exercising, and I'm starting off small, and I just do a few, like 4,000 steps a day and all of that. So what I have taken to doing is I walk in the balcony outside our house in front of the main door, and I do walking on the treadmill, and during these times I'm listening to stories and I am laughing, I'm crying, I'm feeling so many things that the narrator is making me do. And I feel like that's a great way to combine two very important things to a bookworm. And I also listen to audiobooks while I'm journaling. Like, I'm not the kind of person who journals extensively in the sense that I do art and all of that. Like, there are some amazing people who do proper journal spreads. I'm not that, but I do whatever I think will make me happy. Like, it de-stresses me. And while I'm de-stressing by doing my journaling and I'm listening to an audiobook, it's like there's a saying in Hindi, it's called Sone Pe Suhaga, and that's exactly what I feel when I'm listening to an audiobook while I'm journaling. It's a great experience because all you have to do is put on your headphones, put your phone aside, and concentrate on what you're doing. So that's why I'm saying it's a great experience. I would highly recommend 10 on 10. So now that I've talked to you about why I really love audiobooks and how I have incorporated them into my life in a way that makes many of my tasks easier. So now let's jump into the audiobook recommendations segment, and I have 5 audiobook recommendations for you. All of these audiobooks are available on Storytel. The narrators are amazing, the features are great, which I will talk about 1 or 2 features during these recommendations, and I feel like you should definitely check out all of them. So the first audiobook that I would talk to you about is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. This was the first ever audiobook that I listened to, and that was on Storytel as well. This was way back in 2018, and I fell in love with Elizabeth Acevedo. The author herself has narrated this book, and she is such a great narrator. She is a slam poet as well, and she brings that strength, that raw emotion, that a feeling to the story when she is narrating it. The Poet X is a story of Xiomara Batista, who is a teenager and she is trying to carve out a life of her own in relation to religion and to school, and how she finds a boy that she really likes. She is also a budding poet, and when all of these come together, how Xiomara is going to handle all of this, it forms the Poet X entire structure. The whole experience of listening to Elizabeth Acevedo talk about a character that she has written, who is a slam poet, it's a reflection of herself into that character. I really enjoyed it. It sent goosebumps down my spine. And I used to listen to it lying down in the dark, looking at the ceiling, listening to what the narrator had to tell me. It was a very beautiful experience because the world around me was dark to me, and I was in there. Like, I can visualize X or Jamara in that particular place. Like she's at home, she is confronting her mother, or she's at school, she's talking to this boy she likes, she wants to go to the slam poet. Her ambition, her love, her want of being a teenager who has all the freedom in the world, that comes barreling down Elizabeth Acevedo's voice. And I really would recommend it. The second audiobook that I would recommend to you is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari, and the narrator is Derek Perkins. Sapiens is a very heavy book to read. It's the contents of it, I mean, it's very heavy because right from the beginning of human time, the author, he brings all of this together. Like it's a very fast forward time lapse kind of view of how humans have evolved. The very calm, composed manner in which Derek Perkins narrates this whole book is something that is really needed for a book like Sapiens, because you're learning a lot, and things like this I feel you would better understand or better grasp when you are listening to it, when it's in auditory format. Derek Perkins has done a great job on it. He is very cool, matter of fact. He's reading it in a way that will make you more curious about what's to come. And Derek Perkins has made sure that the intention of the author comes through his narration, and it settles in your mind. Whenever I now think of evolution or Sapiens or humankind, my first thought goes to the audiobook for Sapiens. It's such a well narrated book. I used to listen to a bit of Sapiens before going to sleep. I used to pop in my earphones, turn on my side, play the audiobook, and then listen to so much that sometime in the night I've consumed so much of what the narrator is telling me that I don't know when I drop off to sleep. So what I resorted to doing is this great feature that Storytel has. It's a sleep timer where you can put a timer, and after that duration of time the audiobook will stop, it will pause. You won't even have to break your sleep and wake up in order to just like, okay, I'm very sleepy, I need to remove my earphones. You don't have to do all that. So all you have to do is focus on listening to the book. Storytel will manage the remaining for you. It will pause after that particular time that you've set. And I found that really helpful with Sapiens, because Sapiens, as I've mentioned before, it's a heavy book, and it takes some time for me to grasp, especially since I have a fish memory. Like, I don't remember things at all. But yes, please do go listen to Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind. It's an important book, and it is available on Storytel as an audiobook. So please go listen to it. It's great, it's important, and it's necessary as well. The third audiobook that I would like to recommend to you is Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman, and narrated by Neil Gaiman as well. Neil Gaiman is a fantastic writer and a fantastic narrator as well. Like, my favorite god is Thor. Okay, so when I saw that this book, Norse Mythology, in which I'm sure that there was going to be a lot of Norse mythology, obviously, and I was going to learn more about Thor, I was going to learn more about Loki and Odin and all of these gods and demigods and heroes and all of this stuff. I was like, yes, please sign me up for it. And what a great decision it was, because Neil Gaiman has this quality about him in which he uses his voice like a weapon. He directs it at you in a rather smooth and unassuming way. It's very comforting to hear Neil Gaiman tell you these stories. Like, as children in Hindu households, we got to listen to the Ramayana and Mahabharata, and the way our grandparents and parents told us those stories, like Karna did this, or Arjuna did this, or Lakshmana did this. Like, and there were so many questions buzzing also. We used to look like, And this was exactly my expression when I was listening to Norse mythology as well. Because he's such a great narrator and because there's so much more to be learned than what we've seen on camera or in pop culture. Other than that, I didn't know a lot of Norse mythology. I knew that Thor, Loki, Odin are Norse gods, but other than that, what did I know? There's so much difference to what is portrayed than what actually is. And listening to Norse mythology in Neil Gaiman's own voice, it was a completely different experience. I learned more. I enjoyed it a lot. I laughed at Loki's antics. I almost cried when certain things happened, and when Neil Gaiman told it to me in such a loving manner. And I think that is what makes this experience such a great one. And that is why I absolutely love the audiobook for Norse mythology and would highly recommend it. The next audiobook that I would recommend to you is called The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead, and it is narrated by Barney Turpin. And the reason why I definitely highly recommend this audiobook is because the subject that The Underground Railroad talks about, slavery, and the way Barney Turpin narrates it in the perspective of a slave, of a runaway slave. And while you're reading that, you find it to be very chilling, especially because I don't know how it was back then. And sitting here while I'm listening to Barney Turpin tell me that story, I feel so enraged. I feel so connected to the character Cora, and to listen to what she is going through and what is happening in her life and how she's being chased, pursued, and she's being chased across states. It's like listening to someone tell me a story about something that happened to someone close to me. And it's such an immersive experience in the way that books like this, historical fiction especially, based on true barbaric events, and when you're listening to these, it's sort of important that you understand the situation of the people back then. And Barney Turpin is a great narrator. She has done a fantabulous job. She has narrated this book in a way that is all very warm and very personal, soft, but it also, because of that warmth, because of that softness, or because of that innocence, it's even more hard hitting because her situation is such, because she is a slave wanting to lead a free life. It made me understand better, and it also gave me a fresh perspective into how things went on back then. I would definitely highly recommend that you listen to the audiobook for The Underground Railroad. It's great. Barney Turpin does an A1 job of narrating the story. The fifth and final audiobook that I would recommend to you is one that I listened to quite recently. It's called Love Creek Wood by Becky Albertalli. And this is a Simon Verse novella, and it follows up to the events that happened towards the end of Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. And this has the usual characters: Simon, Blue, Abby, Nick, Leah, and a host of a few other characters that I absolutely love listening to. This is told in epistolary format. This has a voice cast of Michael Crouch, Barney Turpin, Kate Rudd, and James Fohey. And all of them have done a phenomenal job. I especially absolutely love Barney Turpin's narration as Abby Sousa, and she has done a great job in bringing Abby to life. I absolutely love the quirks, the little jokes, and everything that is told in the form of email exchanges among the characters, and it's a really fun experience. And while I listened to this first I started at 1x, and then I listened to it at 1.25x, and then 1.5, and then 1.6, 1.7, and 2, because I wanted to know what was going on. I wanted to know what the characters were going through. And I must say that this whole voice cast, this whole narration makes this book even funnier, because there's so much angst in here. If you are reading this one, it wouldn't jump out at you. Like, it wouldn't tell you exactly how much angst there is. There's so much drama as well, and this voice cast does a fantastic job of bringing that drama to life. Like, even the sarcasm you can note. And if you've watched any of my earlier videos, you'll know that I did love Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda, and as a follow-up to that, I ended up loving this as well. And since this is an epistolary format and the voice cast is so great, I feel like the story is best consumed in audiobook format. So again, would highly, highly, highly recommend. So those were the 5 audiobook recommendations that I have for you on the Storytel app. If you'd like to go ahead and listen to these on Storytel, and if you'd like to buy a subscription, the link to buy the subscription is in the description box below. Please go ahead. I promise you, you will love it. It's a great variety of audiobooks and languages as well. There are 11 Indian languages apart from English, so you can listen to any number of audiobooks during your subscription. It's just $2.99 per month. I would highly recommend you check them out. And these were the 5 audiobooks that I had for you, which also happen to be New York Times bestsellers, and which I feel are totally worth all the hype, all the accolades, and all the love that it gets. And you've seen how I've been showering love on these audiobooks throughout this video. So when you get a subscription, make sure to go and save these audiobooks to your bookshelf. So what did you think of this video? Did you like it? Did you not like it? What do you think of audiobooks in general? Are you going to go and get a Storytel subscription? Please do, link in description. And let me know your general thoughts on audiobooks, on Storytel, on any of these books that you've read or listened to. Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you. If you like this video, please like it and share it to spread the word. And if you like my content and would like to see more from me, don't forget to hit subscribe and click on the bell icon beside the subscribe button to get notified as and when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, keep reading, keep watching, and add melodrama to your life.